U.S. Office of Personnel Management data breach. No routine hack. Chapter 8 case study. Summary. The U.S. Office of Personnel Management is responsible for recruiting and retaining a world class workforce to serve the American people and is also responsible for background investigations on prospective employees and security clearances. Unfortunately, the server they used to store their private information was the target of a data breach and was hacked. Information targeted in the breach included personally identifiable information such as social security numbers, as well as names, dates, and places of birth and addresses. ODM lacked leadership and accountability. The prevailing mentality was for everyone to sit and bide their time. The CEO, CIO, and CISO in a private organization would be held accountable by the board of directors. IT events. In June 2015, the OPM announced that it had been the target of a data breach targeting the records of as many as 4 million people. In the following months, the number of stolen records was up to 21.5 million. The hackers' biggest prize was probably more than 20 years of background check data on the highly sensitive 127-page SF-86 forms, which contain information about family members, college roommates, foreign contacts, and psychological information. Question 813. List and describe the security and control weaknesses at OPM that are discussed in this case. OPM was saddled with outdated technology and weak management. OPM did not maintain an inventory of systems and baseline configurations. With 11 servers operating without valid authorization, OPM had poor management of user rights, inadequate monitoring of multiple systems, many unpatched computers, and a decentralized and ineffective cybersecurity function. Sensitive data were unencrypted and stored in old database systems that were vulnerable. OPM had the vulnerabilities, no security-oriented leadership, and a skillful and motivated adversary. What management, organization, and technology factors contributed to these problems? How much was management responsible? Management. When people don't take the problem seriously and constantly be on alert for hacking incidents and other network vulnerabilities, cyber attacks can go unnoticed until it's too late. In some cases, even though appropriate safeguards are in place, people may override them and open a hole for the malware to enter systems, just as it happened for OPM. Organizations, public and private, continually do not adequately plan for security before building any kind of computer system, thus opening the way for cyber attacks. OPM have been warned multiple times of security vulnerabilities and failings. Technology. Tracing the identities of specific attackers through cyberspace is next to impossible. If someone has the credentials of a user on a network, then he or she can access data even if they are encrypted. So encryption in this instance would not have protected the OPM data. What was the impact of the OPM hack? The attackers had stolen user credentials from a contractor to access OPM networks. The hackers then planted malware which installed itself within the OPM's network and established a backdoor for stealing data. From there, attackers escalated their privileges to gain access to a wide range of OPM systems. OPM systems contain information related to the background investigations of current, former, and prospective federal government employees, including U.S. military personnel, and those for whom a federal background investigation was conducted may have been extracted. Is there a solution to this problem? Explain your answer. As data breaches rise in significance and frequency, the government has begun proposing new legislations that would require firms to report data breaches within specific time frames and set standards for data security. OPM and the federal government as a whole need to invest more in managers with IT security expertise and give those individuals real authority to act. Q&A. Who is responsible for the OPM data breach? U.S. government officials suspect that the breach was the work of Chinese hackers, although there is no proof that it was actually sponsored by the Chinese government. Had the OPM been warned about a potential breach? The OPM had been warned multiple times of security vulnerabilities and failings. A semi-annual report to Congress mentioned persistent deficiencies in OPM's information systems security program, including incomplete security authorization packages, weaknesses in testing information security controls, and inaccurate plans of action and milestones. Recent references. Thomas Bayer, CIO at Standard & Poor Rating, think when you have a serious data breach like the opium hack, everyone invests in other things. It's only when a massive data breach occurs that organizations focus on their infrastructure. The stolen data also included 5 million sets of fingerprints. According to biometrics expert Ramesh Kasandrupalli, this could compromise secret agents because they could be identified by their fingerprints even if their names had been changed. Conclusion. The data breach was thought to have begun in March 2014 and perhaps earlier, but was not noticed by the opium until 2015. Attackers had stolen user credentials to access opium networks. The hackers then planted malware onto opium's network and established a hole for stealing information. From there, the attackers escalated their privileges to gain access to a wide range of opium systems. Security believes that opium's biggest issue with the breach was not failure to prevent remote break-ins, but the absence of mechanisms to detect outside intrusion and inadequate encryption of sensitive data. This data breach was a result of the outdated technology and weak management that the opium had at the time.